Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. For those who don't know me, I am Travis Gibb. I am the owner of Orange Cone Productions. And now and then I like to hang out with some friends and do what's called a creator hangout. And tonight we're going to do a very special creator hangout. Because we're going to hang out with the people from Bad Bug. We're going to talk about Roseblood Manor, #4, which I am part of, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to drink this lovely Guinness Blonde from Baltimore. I was at Baltimore recently, and I brought this from there, so that's really exciting. But please, if you are here, please leave a comment. Let me know that you were here. I want to know that you're around. I want to know, see your comments. I can see one from YouTube right here. Just last night, I reread the first issue, then the next two of the series. Dude, that's awesome to hear. I bought them at that Baltimore Con. I am all caught up. I had bought them digitally, but I just bought them physically, so I feel you. Issue 3 was so good. Some great talent there. And speaking of great talent, I have two of the folks that are in this upcoming anthology right here tonight. I have my buddy and frequent guest of this show, Alan. How are you, Alan?
Hey, that's me. And he said he read them. He also said he didn't. He left out the part if he enjoyed them or not.
I really enjoyed #3. Like I messaged John Slim after I read issue 3. Like that fucking killed. That was
awesome. That's the one I wasn't on. So that's really good to know.
Right. That's why I chose that one.
Yeah,
I believe Scott was telling me if you're gonna compliment other Rosebloods, make sure you don't mention anyone that Alan said.
Yeah. So that's 1 and 2. I was on that one. I was not on 3.
Leave those out for sure.
I could barely get my headset on because my head's so big.
But if anybody's watching this on Facebook, can you leave a comment? I want to make sure all of our comments are working. I want to be able to see your comments. We're going to talk about Roseblood Manor tonight. We're going to go through the Kickstarter. We're going to talk about the production. We're going to talk about stuff, and hopefully we'll have some other people. We invited the whole team, and it's basically who's available tonight to come on, and we'll probably do another one before it all ends and all that. So, Scott, you're in charge of this whole shenanigans, and you've been in charge of all 4, correct?
Mostly the last 3. Number 1 was just a cluster.
Number 1 was just an experiment, right?
We were trying to figure that one out. So the last 3 I've kind of spearheaded, leading. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last 3 you've spearheaded, but the first one, since it's an experiment, you don't want to take credit for.
Yeah. It was we'll
take credit for it, whatever.
It was really trying to figure out how to separate ourselves from other anthologies, right? Because it's a pretty oversaturated market. So what could we do? So the group threw out the frame narrative, which I think is somewhat unique to our anthologies, and then figuring out how we could entice talent to come in and be willing to kind of groom their story to fit what we need, which is kind of a big ask from people. So yeah, it was a lot of growing pains that first issue, but we figured it out.
Yeah. As me, I don't know if you're aware of this, but all my anthologies have an overarching story, from Cthulhu to the Holiday Spirits. I think it's really important. I think it's really important. When you read an anthology, a typical anthology, you can get to that one that you don't like, that story that you don't like. And I feel that so many times I put that book down, and a lot of times I never picked it back up because of that. But I feel like if you're reading it, even if you don't like a particular story, maybe my writing doesn't vibe with you. Alan's will vibe with everybody, but particularly me. Except for issue 3, we took him out because
you guys needed to sell more. So yeah, I was that higher for this one because no one else was available.
But getting that in there, I think that people will push through and get to that next thing because they care about the overarching story. We got BMD Nerd says, I like 3 the best because I'm a Western fan, and I'm not a fan per se, but the stories are interesting. Okay.
Love that, yeah.
Let me see if we're getting
Oh, Joey. How's it going, buddy?
Are we saying hi?
I love Joey.
Scott, what are you grubbing on?
It's a Tic Tac. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry. I was just wondering.
So, question for you.
No, me too.
Yeah.
What separate? We are on, and I'm going to bring it up real quick to kind of talk about, to show that it's live. I'm going to share the link real quick before we go into it. What can you tell us? What's in store for Volume 4? What makes Volume 4? Because it kind of feels like, if you were having a trade, this would be kind of the end of a first trade, right?
For sure. Yeah, this definitely bookends it, and that was kind of the original plan, to do a 4-issue bookend. I'll let Alan take over in a little bit with his, because he really does cap it off. Because the biggest question is like Evelyn's role in all of this, right? And like her connection to the manor, and that's been a big question that's kind of been unanswered for the last 3 issues. So Alan got the heavy task of like trying to carry that story and flesh that out. So, but I'll let him speak to that. But yeah, this one's gonna kind of put a nice little cap on it. We definitely want to keep going with it. It seems like there's a need. The market wants it. But yeah, I think the next one will probably just be a restart of that whole new arc that we kind of started here with issue 1, introducing the manor, and now kind of finalizing a little piece of the history to it. So.
Yeah, it's funny because this is one thing I really love about working on Roseblood. Everything has been so organic with it. We haven't forced any aspect or any story of it. And when it came to the Evelyn story, I kind of just threw out an idea and it stuck, and then we just kind of built everything around it, which was really cool just to kind of see that, because it wasn't like, all right, Alan, you have to do this story, you have to make it fit here. When we were brainstorming this originally, it was, hey, I think that this is kind of cool. Like, what if, I don't want to spoil anything, but what if this is how everything kind of set everything in the motion? And then it was like, okay, yeah, this is great. But then what was cool is seeing everyone come together to make sure, and this is what I love about this project, is it's all the right people are in place, with Scott, and give a huge shout out to Chris, who is our lore master on all this thing. Yeah. And we wanted to make sure that everything fit and we could try to have it as tight knit as possible. So it's just really cool. Usually with stuff like this, and Travis, you can probably speak to this too. Sometimes it's scary when you have a lot of people on a project because it feels like there's too many hands in the pot, right? Mm-hmm. But with this, everyone is really focusing on trying to have the best product possible, not only for the reader, because that's why we can keep making these, but we want to be proud of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, when we're making something like this, it gets very, very difficult because we're trying to say something to for new readers and for ongoing readers, right? You're trying to write something for everybody. I know that when I first came on this project, we discussed who's in the house, who's not in the house, who's in the family, who's not in the family, all that lore stuff that we talked about with Chris, and trying to align that up. So, can I add for that? So for me, I was like, all right, I want to add a member. So what does that look like? How does that go through that process? And really building things to keep it growing, to make it bigger, So it wasn't just making another murderer, because as you know, it's a horror book. It's not just making another murderer. It's making a character with some instinct with that could be used in fun for future installments,
Yeah, and to that point, I do want to applaud you, Travis. I think you implemented a very interesting character that we're going to continue on with Morrison. So that's the kind of luxury that and kind of the half the enticement to the creators we reached out to, because it's like you get to kind of contribute to this universe, right? So it's like we have rules that you got to kind of like, and a path you need to navigate to some degree, but there are liberties you can take, and you're free to create characters, and knowing that you're going to contribute that character to the overall universe is really cool, because the manor kind of absorbs these people, right? So they will show up in later issues, and yours is one of the most, I'd say, probably interesting in the last 4 issues we've had. So, I hope we can continue on with this, because I think, there's a lot, and Brian too with his story, and Alan, of course, he's kind of using the characters that are already existent. But yeah, I'm really excited, and hopefully we can get to number 5 here, because we got a lot to work with now. So
yeah, it's so to answer that question, there's I guess technically there's 4 altogether, right? It's the overarching story and then 3 separate stories within it. It's funny because I remember the chat that we had about this thing. We talked about even stopping it after what, like 2 or 3. We were like, yeah, we'll just hold off on it. We'll just do some other stuff, and then it kept gaining momentum, and then it's like, well, damn, I guess we got to keep going.
Yeah, we weren't sure what we like. Honestly, and it's not hyperbole. We honestly didn't know what the hell we were doing with issue 1. We knew what we wanted. Mike came with the idea.
Well, I was the only one that followed writing prompts.
Shit.
I hate every one of you.
And that's the thing. Like Mike had these rules, and he had like 10 different writing prompts or 10 different things he wanted to do, and like it just kept expanding upon itself. That this house could morph. This house could become anything. It could become a town, like in issue 3. It could become an insane asylum, like in issue 2. We felt like it opened up the doors for creators because, like, to bring in a creator and tell them, like, you got to follow our rules now, like, that's a heavy ask for guys who, we're not narcissists, not all narcissistic, but to a degree we are. And so to ask somebody, be like, hey, you got to do this, and this, or stay within these parameters is a big ask. And we've been fortunate to find guys who, and writers who are like, are willing to accommodate that. But
and not even so much writers, it's artists too.
Artists, yeah,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, because we all have to collaborate. And again, it's I don't want to sound like we planned the fun out of this book, but we really tried to think about it as much as possible. Like, okay, cool. So this artist already drew the exterior of the house. Okay, let's all follow this template. Of course, make it your own, but we have an idea. So that way we're consistent. Even though I feel like sometimes we're consistently inconsistent, but whatever.
Well, and even this, not to, I'll give a little bit of insight since people watching this, hopefully they care. We had a whole different set of stories when we started. We started with a different set of stories, and then we wanted to move it to a different. So some of us, I think, some of us had to rewrite full stories. Like my story is completely different from what I originally submitted. So I think that's just a showing that it's not for people who are looking at this and saying it's not safe for work and thinking about that. Like it's way more complicated than that. Like I said in issue 3, like I was blown away. Both Laurie Foster, John Sim, and Pat Shan. I mean, those guys are pillars of the industry in the Kickstarter market. So seeing all of them just kill it was amazing and so much fun. And you guys have done that since day one. I think you guys have some of the best creators in the market doing stuff, which is pretty cool. And it's a testament to you guys. I'm sure you guys both know that I don't do not safe for work stuff, and it's because it's not just not safe for work stuff. It's the quality of the book and building something beyond just the covers. And
see, and that's awesome because I'm happy that you got a chance to hop in for this because you don't do not safe for work stuff, but this book is so much more than that,
right?
And you finally get a chance to kind of look behind the curtain just to see on how everything is everything's made.
Yeah. Well, and so who have we had? We've had you, we've had Chris, so we've had Alan, Chris, Scott's done some, right?
Yeah, we've had Jason Pell, Lori, John, Pat. I'm gonna feel really bad if I forgot somebody.
I'm just watching.
Yeah, number 1, John McLeod really contributed pieces to that too, the frame narrative. So
right, the editor,
yeah. So we've had a lot of hands in the pot, and that's the great thing about Bad Bug and like all the guys we worked with who are so willing to like just kind of work with us and our chaos, our organized chaos to some degree. Because it's a fun experience at the end. At least I hope everyone takes that away, that you had fun working with us. And it's a daunting task, I'm a nobody, and I'm trying to tell like Pat Shan, like, hey, here's what we need from you. Like,
right?
That's a
who
heavy
do you
lift.
think you are?
Yeah, right. So it's like it's great, like having that, and I think that's why we're very selective on who we do bring into the universe, because we want them to be, fun to work with, and then too willing to like deal with the insanity that is Bad Bug.
Ultimately, just deal with us. That's
deal with Alan.
Yeah, just deal with me. Yeah.
No, I mean these the people here, Brian Hawkins and all the stuff that he's done.
Yeah, Brian's been great.
He's really good. He's a huge name in the industry, doing a lot of stuff. Alan's moving right up, doing a lot of really cool stuff. So
for sure.
It's pretty exciting. I think you guys continue to add a solid team each and every one of these campaigns. In fact, here I'm going to show. Let me see if I can show it again. Like just right here, that's just issue Black Cotton and Pocus Hocus and Vineyard and all sorts of really cool books. My Cthulhu does not look good in black and white.
We figured that out now.
Yeah. Should have probably gave us something different for that, but there's so many good things. So let's go through the stories real quick of this particular one to talk about them. I'm going to share the links again. You want to talk about this one, Scott? Maybe you know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take any real credit because I have probably the easiest job because my thing is just like you guys create the stories and I figure out how to like interlace them. So luckily, I've had the fortune of everyone that's been brought on has amazing stories, so it's super easy to interconnect them. And this one, the backdrop was really the catalyst of the backdrop is Alan's story or a piece of Alan's story. So it's the death of Atticus Roseblood. The Mortician, which is a character from issue 3, comes back, and it's just he's kind of our vehicle to learn more about the Roseblood family, and through that, all the stories are kind of delivered to him. So we'll have Brian's, Travis's, and then Alan's. So I like the Shyamalan twist at the end. Hopefully everybody else does too. But yeah, I think that was probably the easiest frame narrative I've had to write in the last 4 issues. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice. And so this is mine. I've got a Performance to Die For. I worked with Mike Mora, who was amazing.
Yeah, Travis, do you want to talk about your deep-seated issues that you have?
Yeah. I think that would spoil the ending. So I don't think we can. But just know, if you're watching this tale was to give Mike what he desired from me.
Okay, so there we go.
You understood the assignment for sure.
But no, it's about Morrison, who runs the staff of Roseblood Manor, at least in this generation. And he has a unique way of motivating his staff through plays that he puts on every night. And this play happens to be sometimes a little deadly and a little sexy.
Yeah,
sure, sexy. All right.
To some, yes, yeah.
It felt like Twilight Zone in the first. I think it started out as a Twilight Zone. I think it's become more than that, but I think absolutely first issue was kind of Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
We got Brian Hawkins. You want to talk about that, Scott, since you were one of the lead editors?
Yeah, this one's really probably our most emotionally powerful story we've had in the last 4 issues. And I've applauded Brian's ability, because we do give some kind of parameter page-wise what we need, and it's usually ranging from 8 to 10. We found is a sweet spot to allow the frame narrative to kind of carry things. So his original take was a little different and ran about 12 pages or a little bit more, I think. And then he adjusted and he really fine-tuned it, tightened it up. And again, it's this forbidden love between the Roseblood daughter, Bryn, and a slave. So it's just the complexities of that alone, and then coupled with the dark, manner.
Yeah, it was funny though, because
like, watching them, it's great.
Yeah, like reading this, we're all here like just having wacky, crazy ideas, and then Brian, just
comes in with
with this emotional story, like way to bring the room down.
No, yeah, it was well needed, for sure. I don't think.
Yeah.
Not all the bad book guys are super, I guess, maybe in touch with our emotions, but so that's why Brian's really rounded out this issue, and I think rounded out the entire series with this love affair. So.
And it was really cool to see too, because Brian made a callback to one of the stories that we had in issue 1 with the painter. And I thought that was so cool because we didn't know he was doing it. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I don't know, it was just kind of cool to see it come to life and everything comes full circle. And again, it wasn't forced. So it just, yeah.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, All That Ends Well. You got yours.
Yeah,
And I love
all's well that ends in a well.
That title alone, yeah, we don't need anything else.
Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. I mean, I think that's about. I like the coloring style of this one a lot.
Yeah. So this was the story that I had. So I don't want to give too much away, but Brian Belando, who is the series illustrator for Pocus Hocus and Grandma Chainsaw, I brought him in on it because I needed his help with a couple pages in the book, and some brutal stuff. So I was like, hey, who better to ask than, this guy? So then Brian helped me kind of come up with some cool ideas for this thing. And he laid down about 3 pages in this. And it's the last little bit of it. So I don't want to say too much about it, but always shout out to Brian. But an artist that I absolutely love working with, he's done cover work for us before, is Ruben Mocho. And Ruben is so funny because, I'm used to just, when you talk to an artist sometimes, I like to try to give as little guidance as possible because I want them to be able to express themselves, have fun, what they're seeing. And I said that to Ruben. He's like, no, what do you want? What are you seeing? And then he gave me all these examples and stuff. And he wanted to draw something that looked like it came from that time period. And he wanted to color it in that way too. He only wanted to use flats. And I was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. And it seemed like it works really well for the tone of everything. And it kind of gives this unsettling feeling the whole time you look at it too. And I absolutely love the feeling that he captured. Yeah,
I was going to equate it to like Midsummer, how that color palette on that movie, it makes it's half the, unsettling vibe to it. I really, yeah. And again, Alan had one of the heaviest lifts to kind of put a bow on 4 issues with Evelyn, and there's a payoff. So if you've read 1 issue or if you read all 3, like, this is a necessity because it kind of puts it all back together.
It's like, oh, it makes sense now. Yeah.
Exactly.
When I met Mike at Baltimore, I definitely said, hey, you need to put this in a trade, and we talked about how to do that, and he explained his concerns about it, but I really feel this needs a trade.
Yeah,
I think that you guys' stories are really good and stuff, and I think that putting in a trade, and even doing a little tweaks, throughout to make it feel like, I think you could even do an overarching for a trade of how this all ties together. I think there's some stuff there that you could do. I think it would be really fun.
Yeah, agree.
Cool stuff that could be done for it. And you've got some great talent in it, so it's really easy to sell.
Yeah, for sure.
But question, and this is a shock for me when you just said this. I thought, Alan, that you just didn't know how to write by yourself, and that's why you had a co-writer.
Oh, got you.
I thought Scott said, Alan's like, hey, I'll write it. You're like, yeah, but with who? And you're like, my artist for my other book. He's a writer? Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, sure, bring him in. No, my favorite thing, man, I love collaboration so much. Like, it is, that is one of my favorite things about this, whether it's collaboration and cross promotion with your Kickstarter, or collaboration and reaching out to other creators on what you think you can do better, or just picking other creators' brains about writing a story together. Like, it's so much fun, and I love bouncing ideas off people. And always, of course, you always want to give credit where credit's due, right? So, and that's the beauty of indie comics too, or just comics in general. It's just great when you get to see the community come together.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at some of these covers. Damn. All right, we're already starting out with
starting out strong, right?
All right.
Starting out some Sin City shenanigans here. With Jonathan Grimm. I mean, that guy, if he shouldn't be doing covers on here, like, his name's Jonathan Grimm. He should be doing all the covers here. Have you guys had one person who did one cover for everything? Like, who's the cover A or anything? Has that been consistent or no?
That's a Mike question, right? There's been so many. I mean, I'm sure there is, right?
Yeah,
maybe?
I think maybe. I mean, I don't know. Mike's he's very particular about his covers.
He absolutely is.
He will allow you to feel like you have a choice in it, and then he will
and then he'll text you at 3 a.m. saying this is it.
Yeah, basically. When should I launch the Kickstarter? Oh, I already did it.
Yep.
Like, that's
He
fine.
launched this thing at 6:30 p.m. on a Monday night. If you ask anybody who's ever launched a Kickstarter,
Don't do that.
whoever worries about the algorithm or anything, Mike just went outside, stared at the moon, and then just launched it.
Yeah, and I'll give some buzz. You guys get more in trouble than me. I don't have a future bad bug deal right now, so I'm good. I can talk crap. Mike was like, no, I'm not feeling it. It's going to be on Tuesday. No, I'm not feeling it's going to be on Sunday. Like every day, it was like feeling the vibe of the room, the vibe of Kickstarter. Like,
dude, you just get used to it. Like that's why all of us were quiet. We're just like, yeah, he's gonna do it when he's gonna do it.
He's like what is it, Bill Paxton Pullman in Twister, where he's got the dirt and he's like letting it. He's like, all right, now's the time. He's out on the highway, like, all right, I need to launch now.
So this one, very provocative. I think someone will buy this and look very close for hairs.
Gross. Can't word it that way, Travis.
This is my favorite cover.
Should I say pubes? Would pubes be better?
Yeah, sure, fine.
Yeah.
This is the cover that I bought. This is an amazing cover. It is so good.
It's probably my favorite, I think, to date on the series. It's just so, and I think it was Alan's idea too, so give him more credit. But I like the idea of theming them, and it's been an uphill battle to get Mike to like see eye to eye on.
We've been talking about theming them since issue 1.
Yeah. So this is very much in theme with Alan's story, and it's got like Bly Manor vibes to it. I just I love the hell out of it. So
I have one of my artist friends is named Kyle Willis, and he's kind of a big deal. If you look at like New York Comic Con, he's signing right before Scott Snyder. Like it's crazy the stuff he does, but he does mosaics. You guys have so many covers. He could probably do a mosaic for you guys.
Oh, no joke. Yeah.
Which is wild. So we should see if that could happen.
Crazy thing is, there's more than these. Some of them didn't even make the cut.
Dude, how many covers do we have that have never made the cut? Right.
Yeah. He needs to have like a whole separate book for like the Misfits or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, like the last Ronin covers.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I like that one.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. And the naughty doesn't even look that naughty, so I'm curious. I'm sure it gets crazy.
They usually do.
I like this one. I like this one a lot. I like the stained glass of everything. Like even she looks stained glass.
Yep.
She is the boobs behind us. I decided to use that.
Yeah, that's a good one to use. That's how you get people in, Travis.
Yeah. I like this. I've always liked. What's the name of the two-headed cat?
Did we ever think of a name for it?
Doesn't have a name.
Yeah.
It was Summerdale creation, and I don't think we ever really fleshed anything out around it.
Okay, I'll write the origin story for it.
Yeah, I'm into that. That sounds great.
It's got a kind of. It's almost like the Joker. You don't want the origin story to it. I just want to know that this two-headed cat ghost that she's.
No, if we do the trade, Alan and I will do. I'll write with Al. I'll co-write because Alan can't write by himself.
All
right. I'll co-write with Alan, and we'll co-write the cat.
That I'll pay for. You two writing a story together, I'll pay for that.
We got this one with the nice hand over here. I love these hands in the background and the faces. It's very, very cool.
Yep, that one's a good one too. That one does play into. It's a bit of themed because what's the center of the floor is a funeral, so it looks like it's got like mausoleum vibes. So we'll give it a pass.
She likes to read books. She's very educated.
He loves books and staircases. Dude.
That's the running joke, because Mike always has usually a book or a staircase.
Yeah, I think we tried to avoid because the staircase thing became such a meme within the group that I think he tries to actively avoid it. I don't know his messages between him and the artist, but I just imagine it says, "Hey, we're looking for a cover for this. For the love of God, no staircase."
No staircase.
Right? Yeah.
It'll be elevators or escalators.
Which is sad because I wrote staircases specifically in my book because of all the staircases that I've seen in the covers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's fine. That's fine if it's in a story. I think it's the other part.
Your inclusion of the staircase was gnarly. I love it.
If you like Harry Potter, you'll love his story.
We got this Summerdale right here.
Yep.
Speaking of Summerdale, she's doing great stuff here. She always
Yeah,
kills it. I love her colors.
Yeah, I don't think she's done a bad cover yet. So
well, and just this positioning of the back around the head,
Yeah.
like I don't think people know that, like how artistically, like the positioning that of where your eyes is if you're like study art, like it's very well done.
Yeah, Summer's always really smart about her choices.
Yeah, and she's the birthplace of Evelyn too. I mean, I think she did the original concept art. I mean, she birthed the two-headed cat. So it's really cool to constantly see her being willing to deal with us and do covers
right.
for us.
And if you like that two-headed cat, you can get a T-shirt
to rep the cat.
Now, I understand why he wanted the half shirt, like to show that, but like you can't really see the full shirt, like on her. Just pointing it out.
Shane is giving you options on how you can wear it, Alan.
Yeah.
So I want to see Alan wear it like that.
Yeah, she has a video of like how to cut up your shirt properly to make it a half shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
How to cut up in your bad bug shirt.
See, and we're so ahead. We still need to add a trading card here, which is great. So
yeah, those trading cards are fun. So
so is this from the? So these are Ghost of Season 3. So this is issue 3.
I don't.
Would that be?
I mean, I don't think we did Ghosts of Roseblood for issue 1, did we? The cards.
No, we
right,
did.
So you're thinking
so it's season 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are fun, and then we do little like limericks on the back, kind of how that individual ghost died. It's a blast. So if you haven't gotten any of those, like I think this wasn't the best because Jay Hammond did these, and his like whimsical style mixed with like dark and effed up aesthetic. It's just
I absolutely love
chef's
Jay.
kiss. Yeah,
he's so awesome to work with.
Yeah, he does awesome. He did stuff for Bobby Joe with Merle that I'm just head over heels for.
Down here, we got all the important stuff and where you guys are printing and all that. So we have gone through the campaign. I'm not going to go through the pledges. You guys know what you want. There, you pick a cover. You pay the money for the cover. If you want multiple covers, there's options for that. And there's catch-up tiers. I think the catch-ups are in add-ons, though, right?
Yeah. Never mind. Disregard.
No.
Mike bills all the Kickstarters, so he keeps that pretty close to the chest. So we don't try to F with that.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, he's got it all there. He's got the nice and the naughty covers all put together, all nice. So
yeah,
you'll have tons of options.
Yeah, something for everybody.
Yeah, it's a great book. I highly recommend it. Not just because I'm in it, though. BB again, it does make it more attractive. And this is the first time that Alan and I have been in the same book together, and that's really exciting. I've tried to have it happen once, but he was too good for me. So it's really good that Mike, he's not too good for Mike, and Mike can make it happen. So
this is a big moment. Yeah, this is huge.
It's a big moment for everybody.
We got the two of you in the
everyone needs to buy a piece of history. That's what you're buying with this book.
Right.
Will it happen again? We don't know.
It's 401 backers, so we need to beat 738 backers. So we've got a ways to go because that's the highest. Let me check.
Is that issue 3?
Issue 3 is I got them all up here. So
issue 3 was the biggest.
Yeah, let's start at 1. So just to show the growth too. So we start at 373 backers in 20K to 20,686. We've already beaten that on this campaign, so that's past that. Then the second campaign was 465 backers, 23,212. And then last campaign was a biggie, 738 backers, 36,406. And we are looking like this is going to be another big one over here. But we need your help to get there, so if you haven't had a chance to share it out and make sure it's done, make sure you back it, make sure you support all of us, it's helps everybody. And by the way, this is not a huge moneymaker for Bad Bug, let me tell you. And not because covers, just they're very generous to make sure everybody gets paid, all the writers and all the creative teams.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a labor of love. This is kind of their like labor of love book, So be generous, buy extra covers.
For sure.
Buy 12. You need 12 covers.
There you go.
or you're not going to know what happens.
Yeah, honestly, and I think this is the best variety of covers we've had in the last 4. So I agree.
Yeah. So 12, minimum of 12.
Minimum of 12. You heard it from Travis.
Yeah, minimum of 12 covers. And if there's not 12 covers, we have extras. So we'll make one for you. We'll just talk to Mike.
Yeah.
That's what Mike should do. He should go 1 of 1 exclusive cover for these covers that he's decided not to do, and you can only get them at a very high level tier, and it's 1 of 1.
Honestly, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, he's writing that down right now wherever he is.
Yeah, Mike is on. Mike said he was coming. Let's give you an update again.
But then he changed his.
I think he's got
time. Yeah, Mike does have a pounding headache. He does get migraines a lot. I can vouch for him on that.
He says I'm coming, guys. Shit, wait, sorry. So
yeah,
he's not. So I guess the headache was gone for a second and then came back.
Yeah.
We spoke very highly about you, Mike. Don't worry. All compliments.
So normally I go for an hour. So we got a little bit of time. Scott, do you mind talking about Alan's project? He's got a project, I guess.
Alan doesn't need any more promotion.
Okay, what else is bad?
Something with an elderly woman and a garden tool, and she does something bad.
Evelyn Roseblood. Yeah, she's old, and she
is that what it is? I don't know.
She's probably gardens.
Yeah.
No, I love Alan, and Grandma Chainsaw is alive. So if you haven't read any of it, you're crazy.
Crazy is the people who wrote it, right?
No, this is fun. I don't often. My expectations are not often subverted. So when I got to read Grandma Chainsaw, because I got to see the first draft of issue 1, and I was just this is not. Wait, what? And I haven't had that, because I can usually kind of, and I'm not trying to boast or anything, but I'm I can see where it's going.
Sure.
And then Alan's hell no, and then he takes a hard left. And so it's just continue to take these hard lefts that I'm just not seeing, and that's huge. I mean, to me at least. So I don't know. It's a blast. You should back it if you love slashers and just effed up shit. That's it.
Yeah, and this is our second to last issue for this series, which is really sad. Because we love writing this so much, but again, we're afraid that with this type of premise, it doesn't lend itself well to keep going. So, we really wanted to make sure we told the story that we set out to do without making it a slog to get through.
Yeah, I think for something like Grandma Chainsaw, just like any good horror movie, you've got to let it sit for a little bit, make someone want it, and then you can bring it back later. But you can't. You can't just go into the next one, to the next one, and the next one. You got to give it some breathing room. I think that, getting deep here, like Star Wars, I think that's one of the biggest things that Disney has always messed up with Star Wars. We're used to waiting years for another Star Wars. So when you gave us 4 or 5, I don't think Han Solo is that bad. It's only bad because you gave us one every year for years, and our expectations got lower and lower, and then finally we're done.
Yeah. For sure. I don't like Alan for his efficiency or how fast he can get issues out and how happy he makes his customers, his readers. But he does. I mean, he did it with Hocus Hocus. Record-breaking time. I mean, it took me longer to finish Periwinkle than it took him to do 4 issues of 4 or 5 issues of Hocus. It's just ridiculous. But
again, he's a rookie. He's a rookie.
It's the talent. I mean, the talent he chooses to work with, the collaboration.
Yeah, obviously,
beautiful recipe cocktail of success. So.
Yeah, huge shout out to the creative team. Obviously, nothing without them. And of course, just everyone that supports it.
And he's humble too.
Well, I mean, for real though, because whether it's creators or the supporters of it, nothing without them, right? And it's. Sure. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just great. And we're just trying to have fun with everything too. Yeah. And issue 3 definitely does not fall short of that as well.
No.
Well, I've said this, I was on I don't remember when, but you would either let me read it early, but like I'm a big fan of Alan's writing. You know,
Oh, thank you.
I think he's very talented. You know, when I'm not messing around, I do give him a lot of shit, but I really do think he's one of the best in the industry. I think he's going places. I think he's very talented. In fact, I joke, but I'm also not joking. I really want to see him and Will separate because I want to see what parts come from. Like I really want to take it apart and figure it all out and just see where it comes from because they're such a great writing team. I think they do great books. You know, I backed 1,000 books on Kickstarter and very few of them, and I'm not trying to harass. I do a lot of it to support community. Very few of them do I get excited for that next issue to read, and Alan's books are always one of them.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Charlie Stickney is another one. You know, anything by John Lees. It's very few and far between where I'm naturally excited when I get that to open that envelope and sit. It doesn't sit in a stack. You know, where I bought like a whole bunch of issues. So I think it's a great book, and I highly recommend it.
Thank you.
For sure.
But yeah, like I said, this is a 4-issue series, and you can get in on this one. Obviously, you can get caught up, and then we're planning on, I guess, our next launch, depending on how it goes, will either be Horus 2 or Grandma 4, and so that way we can go and get that knocked out, and then we're going to get back into Pocus Hocus. So we're really excited about getting issue 6 of that going.
Well, Horus is technically in the same universe, right?
What is it?
Is Horus I thought was in the same universe? No,
it's in the same universe as Pocus. Yeah,
Pocus. Yeah.
So Scott, what do you have coming? Because the one series I want to talk to you about too that was shocking at how well it did. I mean, obviously it's a good book, but it was Bobby Joe, and dude, was it Bobby Joe number 2 where we like doubled what it was at in the last like 2 days because we were like, oh, I guess it fizzled out, and the next thing you know, the thing just exploded. That was wild.
Yeah, Bobby Joe 2. She holds our record right now at Bad Book for our highest grossing. So
yeah, crazy.
I love my girl Bobby Joe. So yeah, we got issue 3. Michael Maine. I mean, I'll give him all the credit. His art style carries that whole series. It's just a blast, and then digging into that Appalachian, you know, aesthetic and vibe, and her hard kind of, you know, facade that she's got. It's a beautiful cocktail, and I mean, it all worked out. It's a serendipitous type of thing, so I'll take very little. Oh, look at that! Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Bobby Joe is fantastic, and it was one of those series too. I remember, you know, because obviously we're seeing everything happen. No one knew how it was going to do.
No.
But like with everything Scott does, it's great, well thought out. We all give him a hard time about his dialogue because he writes a lot of it, but it's just it comes from a place of jealousy because we don't know how to do that.
I mean, you guys do. I do, and like what's funny is like I stumbled upon a review of Bobby Joe, while Googling, and what did he say? The word count on the pages were slightly heavy at times, and I'm like, that's subtle. Yeah. That's a subtle way to say like I'm long-winded. But I think it depends on what the story serves, and I do get, and I know Dave Lentz hates me for that fact.
No, dude, he loves you, and it's because you can tell such a good story, and it's just man. That. No, like, you know, obviously we always get excited whenever we see something from you, and of course now, I'll say one other thing, and I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it, but the next book that Scott's doing that I'm really excited about is Periwinkle Adjacent. And we are all yes, okay, cool. Yeah, it's about Cupid.
Yeah, you can talk about
Okay, we're stoked for Cupid.
I wish it was just called Periwinkle Adjacent.
Yeah.
that was the working title. Yeah.
All right, well, Travis, lay it on us. Get issue 3 of your one shot, baby. Bring it. Yeah.
Oh, it's not low. Hold on.
All right, you're prepare for launch, Travis. Go.
Launch,
launch now, you coward.
That was. I don't even. I have like.
10 o'clock. Just do it.
I have one digital reward, and
that would never stop Michael Tiener.
No. Prime launch time. I haven't
projected enough covers for Michael to be happy. Yes, Granite State Punk, my ongoing one-shot series.
Yeah.
It is. It's the best thing I write, hands down, and I'm not. It's so good. This issue is the best issue of the bunch. It is so effing good. If you have not picked up Granite State Punk, it's about a punk rock guy living in New Hampshire. He is trying to become a recovering alcoholic by drinking a lot. It's very confusing, but it makes sense if you read the story. He's trying to figure out his life. It kind of comes at you like a Deadpool story. It kind of comes at you, but it's got a lot of heart, got a lot of love, and it's very, very personal to me. I think it's the best thing I write. You read a lot of my stuff. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, so this is the one, and obviously, I mean, you put everything that you have in each book you write.
Sure, of course.
But you can sometimes hear the writer's voice come through better on a lot of different things.
Right.
And with Granite State Punk, I'm not saying you're having more fun writing it, but
I was
going to say, if I had to guess though, this might be one of the ones that's easiest for you to write because it flows so well. Right. Like you can sit down and you kind of know where your story beats are going, but it might be one of those where you can just sit down and you just start typing, and before you know it, you're on page 13. Right.
Yeah, no, this is my story. It's on pre-launch now. We're going to launch later on in the month. Next week we have Breaking Edge, which has already come out for you guys who back it on Kickstarter, but it'll come out through Scout Comics, so that's really cool. It's my favorite series, and I really like this. The artist Patrick, who does Discordia for Bad Bug, said he's like, "Holy shit, this is better than the first one."
Nice.
The second one was good, but I was like, "All right, let's try to tell it a different way." I always try my second issues. I always try to tell something different because I want to be like, you don't really know what the series is about. But this is like taking, all right, here's what people like from one, here's what people two. Let's put it together and make it a cool mashup. It's kids on bikes kind of punk rock story. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Highly recommend. It's really, really good. It's a lot of fun. So, but I think, gentlemen, that is all we've got for tonight. I think we've talked about everything. We've talked about our books. We've shared what's going on. Back Grandma Chainsaw right now. Back Roseblood. And don't you guys have, is Hyper Guy still up or no?
Hypergeist is done.
She just ended, yeah.
But Death Knell's still going. And,
Okay.
That's right, Death Knell.
Let's throw that up real quick.
No, it's Alan's. We don't need to.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
Wait, it's your book and you're not talking about it?
Yeah, what the hell, Alan?
Well, I didn't know if you want to keep talking about it. I don't know.
No, like talk about all your shit.
That's another heavy lift for Alan to take over a series that was started with somebody else. I mean,
I came in on issue 2 on that one. Yeah, and then now we are. I'm already starting.
Just talk about that one new character you added, like.
Hans.
Yeah, you just run with that, and I think that's all they'll need.
All right, so Death Knell follows the story of a woman named Nell, who is at a necromancy school. It's kind of like sexy Harry Potter, right? I mean, how else do you say
Harry Potter's pretty sexy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, this is the least sexy Harry Potter. We find out in issue 1 that she's part succubus. So it's her trying to control all of that. And in the midst of her trying to do that in issue 2, her and her friend April, they read a spell wrong that they're supposed to cast because they were trying to summon an imp that is going to watch over her to make sure that, she can just try to control herself as her guardian. But instead, they accidentally summon a simp, and that is the cousin to the imp. And it follows her around now for the rest of the story, just making things way worse for everybody. And this is where my brain goes.
I shouldn't enjoy it as much as I do, but it's just enjoyable.
And cover D is damn near like not safe. Like
Mike should just blurred the whole thing.
even your nice
block of blur.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know how that one made it past the censors, but hey, it's almost over.
Yeah.
So,
horny,
I love that.
Horny
I love
or
the
horror,
art
take your
style
pick. That's what BMD nerd just said.
Horror, yeah. That's that line we operate upon.
Actually, we like to we
Am
like
I
to
aroused
actually
or
put.
terrified?
and or horny. There you go. Yeah.
Why not both?
No,
Are you going to be using this mouse pad when you get it?
no, it sold out before I could pick one up.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, this is a fun series. I mean, and the art style alone by Camry, I mean, it's just again, it just feels like everything always just kind of falls into place with Bad Bug, and especially stuff like Alan's side too. It's just very serendipitous and beautifully put together,
and I try to never take myself too seriously, and this definitely goes along with that as well.
Yeah.
So, I think if you took this book too seriously, I don't think anybody would read it.
No.
Yeah, right.
Not that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's not. What's it? Horny or horror, take your pick. Yeah. Well, this one has both.
Yeah.
So, you're good. It's. Which ones do you think is do you feel that this is the most graphic, the most sexual of the books?
No, Vanya.
No. Yeah, Vanya. That one's no
and Mike purposely. Yeah. I mean, Mike is
that's on purpose.
Yeah, that's Cinemax After Dark. I mean, and he knows.
Dude, are you kidding me? That's
it's like actually it's for further than that. But I mean, as far as like the gratuitous, like plot second. Yeah. And Mike knows it. He's got no qualms with it. I mean, she pays out, so.
Well, I
that should be the tagline for it.
I'm gonna tell one Mike story before I leave, and hopefully I won't get in trouble.
Let's tell a few. We got time.
We're here till when you're coming on, Mike,
we're just gonna bully Mike to get on here.
Have a migraine.
So the first time he stepped into Not Safe for Work, before really Bad Bug was a thing, it was in I can't think of the name of the cowboy book right now.
Dead and Moon.
Dead and Moon. That's Scott's book.
That's my baby.
I love that book. I think it's
tread carefully. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, he's Travis is like that piece of shit.
I read it and I saw the sexy in it, and I went to Mike because I really love Midnight Highway. I really think that's a great book. It's my favorite book of Mike's. I know he's his baby. He likes Black Jacket, but Midnight Highway is really what speaks to me. Yeah. And I said, I was like, Mike, you don't need to use sexy because you're a good writer. You're like, you don't need that. You don't need that as much. And he disappeared for a day. And then he came back and he's like, you're really offended by that. He's like, I want to do sexy. And he kind of explained his position of it. And then I explained my position of sexy. And I think it's so important. I used to run a comic store, and the guys who wanted the sexy book, like Cherry Pop Tart and stuff like that, they would have to come in like the last hour, and they would wait because they didn't really want people to see them and do all this
hood up and everything. Look like they're going to rob.
Yeah, it was always super embarrassing for them. They spent a lot of money, and like I always felt bad for them, and myself included. I was a little younger. I even laughed about it when it came in. So like their thing was justified. I love that Kickstarter exists. They could just order it and get the stuff that they're into.
They don't have to make eye contact with anybody.
Right, they don't have to make eye contact with anybody. They can figure out what they want, and they can get what they want. I think it's a beautiful thing, and I explained that to him and we kind of stuff. But that's what I loved about Mike. It's coming back to me and go, no, it's like, I know I don't need to write that. He's like, but I want to write that stuff. I feel that stuff is part of the world. So for me, like when I'm watching Game of Thrones, like that, them randomly walking through a brothel does nothing for me. But for him, it makes that world way more real. Like it makes the whole setting way more real. For me, I'm like, okay, cool, but who is he going to betray? Like cool, like he doesn't need to slap that ass.
My favorite part about this story is that Mike left you on red and came back with the, I think it's funny how, and then just just went in.
What's funny about that too? I mean, Travis, you and I are, I think, on the same page with that. And Mike, asked me if I'd be willing to write it because I'm big into westerns. Obviously, I did Legend of Everett Forge, so that's why he tapped me for it. And he's like, "This is going to be our first NSFW type thing," blah blah blah. And I did nothing as far as NSFW in the book. It was really just all cover based, and it's been one of our most popular series. People come back to it. People have been begging for it from Glenn to finish issue 3. I think there's just kind of there's a balance of the two worlds we can create as far as giving them the cheesecake covers they want and then also telling the story that we want to tell. So
yeah, and I think Hypergeist and Death Note included are starting to show that, right?
yeah,
Because as the stories keep progressing, I mean some of that stuff's still in there, but it's story first, and I think that's evident.
yeah, and there's certain like Hypergeist, like we obviously we double down on the dirty, but there's certain ones where it's like I think and Alan can speak to that too. Are the author within us wants to be like, okay, here's your whatever you want, but now I want to tell you my story.
Yep.
So and Mike's willing enough to like kind of give it that control over to us too, which is I think part of the success cocktail that we have at Bad Bug. So.
Well, when he asked
no pun intended, right, Scott?
When he asked me for
cocktail.
When he asked me for Roseblood, I said I don't write non for sex. He's like, bullshit. I was like, what? We're doing a sex scene in Great Estate Punk. I was like, all right, I guess I did.
Yeah. Okay. So this is we've talked really well about Mike, but this is also the thing. He's also a bully.
Right.
And I want everyone to know that. Yeah.
That goes without saying. If you've seen him on Facebook, he's a bully.
Well, is his account actually active this week? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is he in Facebook jail or not? I think he's free this week,
but I'm excited. I think you guys are doing great. Both these books are great. We're at 30,000 for Death Kneel, and we're at 24 for Roseblood. Bad Bug is still going strong, doing amazing things. I'm really excited to see what's coming up. Sure. How many more Kickstarters are left this year?
I think this is we're
actually got Astro Witch. We got some of our regular like Don't Talk to the Dead from Ruben and Casey, which we're honored to have them.
And I think we're launching another one in November too.
I don't know when. Yeah, we got a lot, and then like I think he's wanting to do Bobby Joe 3 before the end of the year.
I can't wait for you to get that message, being like, "Where's the script?" You're like, "I had no idea."
I'm predictive of Mike's thing of his desires now. That sounded off, but so I'm writing scripts like
Travis, cut the stream now. Just cut it.
But no, I mean we're Bobby Joe covered, so we're covered through the series. So but yeah, we're good to go.
Well, I mean, he's already purchased 87 covers, so I mean, you just gotta go through those.
No joke.
We can't be done until we've paid for. We've used all 87 covers.
Here's covers for issue 8. I'm like, dude, I haven't even gotten there yet.
It's funny too, because I'm sure Mike's a lot like me. I don't do the Not Safe for Work covers, but I'm sure he's like, but I got a bargain. Like I get 2 covers for 1. like that is how I would think of it.
Somebody asked Bobby Joe.
Yes, yeah.
Bobby Joe, yeah. Currently scripted for probably 5. But after she's done with the current apocalypse, I think we're gonna, because we were talking about that. We want like some tentpole characters with Bad Bug, and Bobby Joe's been very popular. So she might be one of those where after she deals with some alien nonsense, she'll deal with some other supernatural threats. So she'll be around for the long haul.
When are we going to do our big giant summer crossover? I'm excited.
I guess this summer.
Yeah. It's summer. What? It's summertime.
Is it summertime right now? Like let's do it.
Let's do it. Summer in October. Let's do it.
All right. Well, this has been me, Alan, Scott. We've all hanging out. Hope you like these books. Check them out. We'll keep sharing them out. You keep buying them. We'll keep writing them. I think that's it. You guys got anything else? You guys want to post socials or anything?
I mean, yep. You can. I think the best way to do it, just follow all of us on Kickstarter. For just.
Hey, I'm trying my TikTok, man. Follow this boomer on TikTok. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that shit figured out one of these days. But yeah, I'm on all social. Swilky Smooth at Twitter. I'm on Facebook. My name. Instagram Scott Wilkie 24. So. I appreciate a follow.
All right. Well, that is it. Good night.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.